Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So since last episode, I did a lot of packing, and I also worked in this room quite a bit, and did a bit of mining and stuff, stocked up on iron a lot, stocked up on platinum, stocked up on gold, a lot of fun things, a lot of mining and stuff. But this room is semi-close to being done. I mean, if I add anything, it'll just be like little detail things, little decorations and stuff like that. Moving forward. So we have, and I may change the hoppers that are back there, and then of course later on we'll probably route some automation through here, but over here we have all 8 metal presses set up. And I've got little frame labels from Bibliocraft. These, you can set items in them. So I got these set up, like this one's rods, this one's plates, wires, gears, casings, which that's all it makes is just bullet casings. This one is the 2x2 packager, 3x3 packager, and unpackager. So, and everything's set up. It has the presses, it has power, and all is right with the world. And then I've got, of course, we have the MV capacitors right here that runs power out from the water wheels. And then once it travels down through here, it goes into another MV capacitor line on this corner. And then that connects out to outside, which we're going to be plugging that up here in just a little bit. Over here I did set up the second crusher, and Sphere brought up that you can actually stick the hopper on the side, and look at that. It kind of looks like there's a little nozzle slot. It's not actually what it's intended to be, but it kind of looks kind of nice right there. So I've got the hopper set up on the sides of the crusher. Of course, they're a lot more readily accessible there. And then over here I have an engineer's workbench set up, a little crafting station, reinforced storage crate to store like extra stuff, and then a charging station. So, which we aren't using just yet, but I went ahead and crafted it and plugged power into it. So if we need to charge up stuff that needs RF, we have a charging station right here ready to go. This is something that we're going to be doing here in just a minute. Working on arc furnaces, fun times. So, and then these are the wrought iron lanterns from Better with Add-ons. So, I finished putting the roof on here. I haven't made any other major changes. I did add some lighting and stuff. And I think that's the main thing over here. I'm actually starting this episode a bit earlier, as far as recording goes. And just as a little side note, my house right now is a maze of boxes. It's awesome. Awesome times. Over here I did throw down another weirding gadget as well, to keep this loaded, because the wires were randomly breaking off the transformer. And it seemed to be related whenever I would leave this area for a little while, then the wires would break. So I put a weirding gadget there, so that it keeps this area chunk loaded. Anyways, I did do a bit of prepping. You saw that one crate up there. And then also I prepped up another crate here. These are like our present crates. And this is the things that we need for our coke ovens. However, I wasn't thinking when I set these up. Of course, I didn't think about it having the advanced coke ovens in this pack, because that is immersive tech that adds that. And so I wasn't thinking about it having those. I wasn't planning for it. So they really don't fit into here, because ideally you want to have 4 high and 5 wide and 3 deep, as well as space for like a pipe on the back. So really 4 deep. It really doesn't fit into this area. Our little creosote workroom, it does not fit. So we're not actually going to set it up here like I was originally planning. And that's just due to the fact I don't have the space. I really don't. And I don't want to try to cram everything in to try to make it fit, and then it looks bad. And this little room was useful for a while, but we're actually going to set up our permanent coke ovens upstairs. Okay. But, I mean, that's going to put pretty much all the immersive engineering stuff, at least the immersive engineering chunk of stuff right here. We are going to have some stuff on the next floor up, which I've started. I actually put a crusher up there, but we'll get into that room a bit later on. So I think we're going to put our coke ovens right over here, and it's going to be part of a larger amount of fluid related stuff, because we're going to be doing a bit with fluids with immersive engineering. And I also wouldn't mind getting into the chem thrower, so we'll want to make napalm, which means we'll want a mixer and all that. Also, one thing I kind of derped on it about last episode, and I kind of noticed it shortly after last episode, and then it was brought up in the comments as well, that we can make the iron mechanical components right here with the crafting components blueprint. So, yeah, it's a little bit cheaper. Instead of 4 iron plates and 1 copper per iron mechanical component, it's 2 iron plates. So we save iron and we save steel. About 50% that we'll save on that. So much better to do it that way. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into... I also did some sorting work and some work over there, but nothing major. I'm not going to go over there right this second, because we do have a whole lot that I want to cover this episode. So anyways, we are going to be setting up our coke ovens right through here, and I crafted up some more coke bricks, and I wasn't thinking, because you actually need 18 coke bricks per advanced coke oven, because it doesn't use the full 27. So I actually have a little bit extra, so I'm going to go ahead and put in probably 3 of these. Okay, so if we open up our engineer's manual, and I'm not going to use the projector. Oh yeah, I made this, engineer's toolbox. I love this thing. I was really excited. Age 3, we get this thing. So engineer's toolbox, really, really cheap to craft. Right? You can right click it, and you can open it up, and you'll notice that everything is sorted really nice. You have slots up here for food. You have slots here for anything that classifies as a tool. I mean, I can't put like illumination wand in there. And it's kind of strange you can't put the projector in there either, which is a little bit odd. But like the engineer's hammer, if we shift click that in, it goes into the tool section. Now this section here is for wiring related stuff. So any kind of connectors, relays, wire coils, that kind of stuff goes into here. And then down here, this is anything. So I'm basically just using it as like a tool box. I need to make more food and kind of stockpile it and stuff. But I've been carrying it around as a toolbox. It's really meant to, you know, if you're going to work on immersive engineering, like what you can do is you can shift right click and you can set it down on the ground. I love my dark castle with all the mobs. But anyways, you can shift right click and set it down, then you can shift right click and pick it back up. And when it's placed down, you can open it and access it. So I mean, really, you could just put like all your immersive engineering stuff and then put it in like your tool room, and then if you're going to be doing some wiring, go grab your toolbox and take it with you. I've been carrying it on me all the time just because I love it, and so I was like, I mean, it doesn't have as much storage as say a gold backpack would, but it's cooler. It's way cooler than a gold backpack. You know, it's got this nice GUI and everything, and everything's sorted, and it's just really nifty. I kind of wish there was like an extra line right here. I think it would be a little bit more powerful then, but even still, it's pretty nice. So anyways, like I said, we got a lot to cover today, so let's go ahead and jump into it. If we take a look inside of our engineer's manual, and we go down to the immersive tech, the coke oven advanced, you can see this is how we build it. And it is basically just reinforced coke bricks, 18 of those, 9 steel sheet metal, and a hopper, and we build it just like that. It's pretty straightforward. So reinforced coke bricks. I've got enough right here for all that we're going to need for 2 of them. Oh, wait a second. How do we do this? Coke bricks. Okay, it just needs to go on top. Right. There we go. So 36 of those. And I'm going to put these away because I'm going to need those 18 to make the next batch. The hoppers, the steel sheet metal, we'll go ahead and throw these things down real quick. So the steel sheet metal goes in the back. That denotes the back end of the multi-block. So we'll go ahead and place that first. And this is going to require power. It has preheaters, kind of like the Advanced Blast Furnace, which we're not going to really be making the Advanced Blast Furnace. We're not really going to be using the Advanced Blast Furnace because there's not really a whole lot of point. I don't ever feel like there's ever really a whole lot of point unless the Arc Furnace is set up in a way that it's really expensive and takes a while to get to. I've been running these things. I've been kicking through some materials, I must say. And iron. Oh my gosh, I went through so many iron. So much iron. Like, I kid you not, probably 10, 12, 13 stacks. I don't know. It's been a lot. And then the hopper on the top center of this. Oh, and it was brought up in the comments also, if you are making cables, there are, or wires, there is, for the LV and MV, there is insulated versions for that. So, right here, insulated LV, insulated MV. If you insulate a wire, it will not damage you and it will not damage mobs. I'm not actually going to insulate my wire, I don't think. It's not terribly expensive. It does require a bit of this tough fabric or hemp cloth, which is not terrible. Also, the insulated MV requires a bucket of creosote and some of the fabric as well. But I'm actually not too worried about it because I've got my cables set up in a way that they don't really electrocute me. Really? Like, I mean, like, it's ran along the top there, it's ran along the back top there, it's It's ran along right up to there. I'm not running through wires, so I don't really see a whole lot of point in insulating it. Plus, I like the, I kind of like the colors. That gold band just kind of looks really nice. And if you cover it, you get this brown or this, like, dingy white. I don't think it looks as good. So I'm going to stick with the uninsulated because if I'm running it somewhere where we're going to be walking, I'll insulate it, but for most purposes, I'm keeping the wires put up and cleaned up. So, all right, let me go grab a little bit more cobble so we can actually get in front of this. And yes, I am using cobble right now, but that might even be changed by later on this episode. We'll see. Like right now, I'm trying to get as much done between episodes as I can, but of course we're also moving, packing, and all that stuff. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed yet, I'm actually not using my same keyboard. For whatever reason, our Walmart in our town, these are what the structures look like, by the way. But for some reason, our Walmart had, like, normally I don't buy any kind of electronic stuff at Walmart just because I don't trust them, and I've worked there and I know how things go, the way they handle stuff and everything. But anyways, our Walmart had like a super clearance, like, I don't know, going out of business sale type thing on all their electronic stuff. Or not all of it, but, you know, a lot of it. Anyways, they had a new Razer Ornata keyboard, and normally it's like a $100 keyboard, and I got it for $30. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pass that up. Plus, I love the keys. They're, you know, the mecha membrane. They just feel really good, really responsive. So, plus it came with a really nice armrest that I've actually grown to quite enjoy. So I am using that. But anyways, so our reinforced coke oven, our advanced coke oven. And then what we're going to do, we have these coke oven preheaters. I went ahead and crafted these things. They're not expensive. External heaters. I mean, like pretty much everything I was doing between episodes, it's a ton of copper and iron and all that stuff, and it adds up really quick. But on their own, they're not terribly expensive. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick these just on the sides. This is pretty much built just like the advanced blast furnace. So they get these big turbines on the side of them. And there we go. Okay, so we have super turbine coke ovens. They kind of look like something off Star Wars, like some kind of a pod racer. Like I'm setting up here and piloting this thing. I don't know. Now we need to plug up power to this, and I do have... Oh, I forgot. I've got some cables made, but we're going to need the MV wire connectors. And we're just going to plop these down right here, right here, right here, and right here. And then let's go get ourselves some cable real quick. I've got to go get a stick. I've got the wire made, because I got that pressed out just a minute ago. I forgot to bring a stick with me. Okay, so what I'm thinking, let's get ourselves a couple of these MV wire relays. And I'm going to set these up. This is subject, of course, to change slightly. We'll see. This is going to be roughly how it's set up, except for... I know for a fact that that is going to get moved and put up on the ceiling, but I've got to bring that over. And that's another thing that might be changed by the end of the episode. We'll see. But anyways, we're going to link these up just like that, and then we're going to bring it over, connect it right there, and then this one... can just connect over, oops, I do that all the time, and connect over to there. It's basically this cable right here that I hit a lot, because I'm jumping through here and end up smacking into it. Okay, so now these should have power. If we take a look, they have 8,000 IF each, which is good. And that's really it. And basically these blast furnace, or these coke ovens, they produce a little bit faster than the standard coke oven. They do consume a little bit of power. I want to say it's like 30 RF per tick or something like that. Which is not terrible. But if we were to throw in, say, some coal into this one, if we watch it for just a second, I mean, it's still not super fast. But you can see we can actually sit here and watch this bar going down. Whereas if you watch like the standard coke oven, it takes like, I don't know, like 2 minutes or something. So I mean, it does cut the time down, or maybe it's like a minute per coal coke. Of course, you can do these in blocks too if you so desire, but I want to say it's like a minute per coal coke, roughly somewhere right in there, and it does cut it down to about 30 seconds, maybe even less. So it's definitely worth it, I think. And these do only consume power if they are running. So yeah, you can see it's 32 RF per tick. Which isn't too bad. We should be able to keep up with that. Plus, it's only going to be doing it when I'm producing coal coke. Okay, now that that's set up, we have faster coal coke now, which is going to be useful because, like, between episodes, I made probably like 5 stacks of steel, close to 5 stacks. It was a lot of steel, to the point that I ran out of iron, and I had ran through all that equipment from the mob farm and everything. But another problem that I had was creosote oil. Creosote oil builds up really, really fast, clogs up your system, and then you either have to break it and replace the blocks, you know, break the multi-block down, or empty it out. I mean, I did make a lot of treated wood. So I want to deal with the creosote, and this was something I actually mentioned a few episodes back or whatever. I want to make a tank, and we're going to be using these quite a bit. They store like 512 buckets, I want to say it is. Very, very dense liquid storage. And I actually want to put the tank back here because we're going to have some liquid storage area back in behind the workshop. Okay, because it kind of feels like it's a good fitting place for it to go. Because if I'm in the workshop doing something, I can step outside, step back here. This is going to be a lot of immersive engineering back through here as well. Now I will say past this point, like this whole back section, probably not as much immersive engineering focus in that area. Immersive engineering is mainly going to be up around in there, some power generation, and then, you know, our coal coke production, and then our workshop and stuff. And then we've still got immersive petroleum and immersive tech to really get into, as well as some other stuff from immersive engineering, and then some automation too, which that'll just go wherever. So what I want to do is I want to set up our creosote, and I want to put it, our creosote tank, and I'm going to put it right here. It's a 3x3 structure for the tank. So we're going to have it setting right in here. There should be plenty of space. Yeah. I was doing some calculations with it, and it was a good fit. So, and the structure is, it's actually right in here. We can pull it up. It's under construction. The tank right here, and it's pretty straightforward to build. So we'll go ahead and just throw this thing together and build it up, and then the top section is flat like this. So, and that's pretty much all there is to the tank. It's pretty easy to make. Iron sheet metal is really all you need, and then right click it, and there we go. There is our immersive tank. Okay, now this has the bottom side. You can input fluids on the bottom side, but namely it's for extraction. Extraction can only happen on the bottom, and then the top side you can insert into. So we are going to be using fluid pipes from Immersive Engineering. So 6 plates makes 8 of those. So let's go ahead and plug this up, and we are going to pop over here first. Probably going to have to make more iron sheet metal, or iron plates by the time this is all done with. But anyways, on the reinforced coke bricks, the front side outputs coal coke, top side is input, and then the back side here is for extracting the fluid. And it will automatically export to any attached fluid containment. So we're just going to put our tank right there, our fluid pipe right there, and we are going to run it, do I want it straight down? So what we're going to do is we're going to run it back right to there, and then we're going to run it down right there. And then we're just going to bring it over, let's see, because that part, there's going to be stairs above this. This will work out well. So we'll just run it over like that. Let's go ahead and break this off. We'll go ahead, turn on my magnet, go ahead and break that off, and then we'll just run it along this wall here. This is all going to be hidden. Then we'll just run it down along through here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make more. Yeah, I'll have to make quite a bit more. And you know what? I don't know if I want to insert on the top or not. I'm not 100% sure now, because I've got that dirt there that's got to stay there. That's the planters up above. And so I can't really chisel and bit that. And I can't really chisel and bit around the pipes. So yeah, I might actually insert it from the back side here, and then have the front side be extraction. And I think that should work. So let me go get some more. See, I think I've got some iron. I might actually have iron right here. No. I do need that though. That goes in here. Yeah, I've got some iron here. I'm just going to steal that for right now. I haven't been keeping up on my soul forged steel. I've made a little bit of it, but I haven't kept up on it as much as I should. And then while that iron is crafting up, I also want to go ahead and make a barrel. And this is so that we have just like some liquid storage that's right there that we can easily just grab with like buckets and stuff like that. So this metal barrel here, well, it's iron sheet metal, so I'm going to have to wait for that stuff to get done. Regardless, let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll get the barrel going here in just a second. Alright, so 16 more fluid pipes. To right there, and then we're going to plug it into the bottom slot right there. Okay, so that should be able to pull the creosote from the coke oven over here. And if we pop over here, we take a look. Yes, it is drained of creosote. Now we still have to plug this one up as well. So what we're going to do then is we'll just bring this over. I'm going to have to make another crafting table on a stick. I'm going to have to make another batch of those pipes. But that should be it on those. Very, very expensive. Like, immersive engineering has been just crazy expensive. And it's not really even tweaked recipes, really. I mean, it's pretty much standard recipes, but this stuff, it just adds up so fast. Like, all the cost on iron and stuff. It adds up very, very quickly. Okay, so if we take a look at this coke oven, this one's drained now as well. And then I'll have to build that third one and plug it up as well. And then if we pop over here, we're not going to be able to actually see because it's basically, it feels, and that little bar, well, actually you can kind of see. There's a little bit of creosote right there. And that tells you how full it is. And, you know, I don't know necessarily if I need the bucket or the barrel right now. Really, I don't, I guess. Because if I come over here and I grab a bucket, I can just right-click. You can see we've got 16,000 millibuckets of creosote already in here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in, like, a stack of coal into this. Well, you know what? Actually, what I probably should do... Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop over here. I've got, 7 stacks of coal. Go ahead and get 9. I want to make a stack of coal coke blocks. Is what I want to do. Instead of bothering, now that we have it auto, like, plugged up, so that it's automatically exporting, we might as well go ahead and do blocks of coal coke. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump in... Oh yeah, I'm going to have to wait for that. I need to put some kind of denser storage, like a chest or something up there, but I've got that cable running. Could put the hopper back by 1, and, you know, drop it down so it's level with the conveyor. That would work as well. The only thing is I've got these cables here, so it'll be a little bit easier once we have conduits. A lot of things are going to be a lot easier once we have conduits. And we'll dump them into there. And then the blocks, you can actually just break the blocks down if you want to make coal coke. I was checking that. You can actually just do it that way. Alright, so we'll let that stuff run and build that block of coal, those blocks of coal up, and it's going to be filling up that tank, and we're going to have plenty of creosote for whatever we want to do with it. Then I've also got this lever. By default, if I plugged up pipes to this, it will not auto-export. Oh, that's one thing I didn't think about, though. Well, you know what? I could use buildcraft pipes, though, to extract. Because by default, this isn't going to automatically extract creosote if I plug another pipe up to this. But if I apply redstone to this bottom block, it will automatically export. But since I've got this here, if I recall correctly, it causes issues. And it wants to try to export it from this side as well. But I can use the buildcraft pipes to export on this side. Though honestly, I think I'd rather use fluid pipes. So maybe I will insert to the top. Because I'm sure I can do something up there where the planter's at. So maybe if we connected it up more like that, and then I can hide that stuff away. You wouldn't be able to see, like, these pipes right through here. You just see it go up, and then it would insert. And I think that would be alright. And so then what we can do is we can put redstone on the back of this. Or I could put the lever below this. That would work too. But the only thing is if I extract out the bottom, I might extract out the bottom in some cases. No, I won't. So, yeah, we'll put a lever down here. And we'll turn that on. So then if I plug any pipes up to that, it's going to automatically push the creosote out the bottom. And it's going to go, you know, into whatever. So if I just plug up, you know, some fluid pipes for immersive engineering, I don't have to do the pump and, like, pump it out. I can just plug the pipes up and then plug them up to wherever they're going. And it's going to work. So I think that'll be good. And then we have some nice, really nice, dense liquid storage. So if we take a look here, 26,000 millibuckets already. So it's not going to take it very long to fill up. So then I'm going to have to, I don't know, trash the creosote or do something with it. Which I don't think there's much that we can do with it aside from just making treated wood. So yeah, I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up trashing a lot of it. But that's fine. Alright, so now let's go ahead and grab this wooden storage crate. This is the one I just finished before I started recording. This is a very expensive crate. Like, I would die if anything happened to this, because it took forever. It's a lot of steel. So we've got cauldrons. We actually need one cauldron, one redstone engineering block. I just had some extras, and I am planning on making a second one of these. So what we're going to be making here is we're going to be making ourselves the mighty arc furnace. This is like the big daddy of... It's one of the big daddies of the standard immersive engineering machines. So this right here. So let's go ahead. Actually, I think my arc projector is already set to arc furnace. It is, because I was planning some stuff out. So let's go ahead and set this guy down. And I'm planning on it going right in this little area. That's why I kind of built this out a little bit. And so if we turn this, we want to make sure that this side is the front, where the redstone engineering block is and everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this all up. And honestly, to me, the arc furnace, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes because it's so much steel. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves, like the cauldron is easy. The cauldron goes, whoops, cauldron goes right here. And then we need, which I guess technically, if you grab all this stuff, it is a little bit easier to see. If you hold on to the stuff, so heavy engineering block goes right here. And then we need, and then steel sheet metal right here and right here. And then we need blocks of steel right there. And then we need slabs that go down right through here. And then what is that? Steel scaffolding goes right there. Okay, so now we're on the next floor of this. And we need redstone engineering block right there. Then we need heavy engineering blocks. That's the last of those. Then light engineering blocks along the back. And then we need more blocks of steel. This thing is so expensive to prep for. And then we need 27 blast bricks, which is the same amount as any blast furnace. So I'm just going to pull these up. We'll just pull up one of these, and then I'm going to pull up the other one for the second blast, or the second arc furnace whenever we get to it. Because honestly, once you hit arc furnace, you really don't need a blast furnace anymore. That's why there tends to not be a ton of need. Oh yeah, I just broke my whole cable connection. So anyways, we got our blast bricks. Let's pop down here. And we are going to have to reinforce these just like we did the coal coke bricks, or the coke oven bricks. Yeah, that's it. Just like that. So reinforced blast bricks. And we'll just dump these down. Pow. And then on to the next layer. And we need, oops, this has to stay in your inventory. Light engineering blocks right there. Reinforced blast bricks out the front of this. And these are the same blocks you would use for the improved blast furnace. So you can upgrade into that and you're not going to lose anything. But I just tend to always just skip it. Because, I don't know, the steel doesn't take that long to make. I mean, probably if I was, streaming progression or something, then I would probably do it just to speed up the whole making all this steel for this part. But then light engineering block right there, and then the last of our reinforced blast bricks. And then on the top layer, we have steel scaffolding, and then the last of our light engineering blocks. And there we go. Turns green, everything's good. We take our hammer and we right-click the cauldron. Okay, there we go. And there's our arc furnace. This big monstrosity. Okay, so there is that. And then what we need to do is, let's see, first up, let's go ahead and plug up power to this. And I might actually have to go get some maybe not cabling, but connectors. Yeah, I'm out of connectors. Okay. That's fine. I've got clay made up, or terracotta made up. Alright, so we're going to put down a connector. The power needs to come in right back here. Yeah. So we'll put down a connector right there, and we can actually put connectors down on all three of these. Basically increasing the speed that we can feed power in. I'm just going to do one for right now. That'll be fine. MV wire coil. And then we'll put a connector right over here. and I've got it already set to output. This is the capacitors from in there. The power in this corner actually comes in the bottom and then it travels up to the top. So it's reversed from what we have on the other side. So connector right there, and then we're going to run this over, and let me go ahead and get a relay. And then connect that over, and then connect it down right there. So the arc furnace is getting power now. You can see it's charged up. This thing does use a lot of power. Honestly, this arc furnace is just going to be our manual one, so if we want to do something manually, we can use this arc furnace. We are going to have one upstairs that's going to be fully automated within the ore processing system. Now, I know Calla had said it's still set up so you can't automatically input the electrodes, so we'll probably just enchant them with the Unbreaking 3. It's kind of my plan, and then they'll last for a very, very long time. With Unbreaking 3, they last a long, long time. And on the note of electrodes, let's go ahead... Graphite Electrodes. We are going to have to make another multi-block, and I am going to cut here in just a second, because I'm going to have to make HOP graphite. And to do that, I'm going to have to get HOP graphite dust, which is produced in the industrial squeezer. So 8 coke dust per HOP graphite dust. So I'll be back here in just a minute once I get the stuff prepped up for the electrodes, or for making the electrodes. Once we get the squeezer in, it's really easy. Okay, I've got the stuff for that. That was just a really short cut, but the big cut's coming up after this. I just kind of want to get this running, and I'm kind of curious to see if we can actually run this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our squeezer down, and it's going to be right next to this arc furnace. We will have we'll have other squeezers later on for automated setups, but this squeezer is going to be just for making electrodes. So I kind of want it, right next to the arc furnace so it's readily available to us. And we'll set this thing up just right in here. Will be good. Okay, so let's see. The front side, I believe, is the one with the redstone engineering block. Usually it is. So that's the finished product. Yeah, that'll be the redstone engineering block. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop it down right there, and then let's set this thing up. These are so much better than they used to be, because there was a time when these things were literally just like a 3x3 of like blocks, and they just look like a big box. And I used to hate them so much. The squeezer and the fermenter both were that way. Wooden barrels, and these are basically like liquid storage items. Normally the squeezer is used for liquid storage or liquid creation, but not in our case right now. And then the piston goes right there, and then we've got these steel fences that set along the back side here. And then we do need to rotate this piston. We need it facing downwards because it is going to be squeezing things. There we go, and then just shift right click the center, and there we go. There is our squeezer. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's go grab ourselves some of this coal coke that's being produced. We've got 6 blocks, and then over here we've got 6 blocks. Really, at this point, aside from maybe some tweaked recipes, most of what we're going to be doing involves just coke dust. I think coal coke might have some uses. There's a machine blueprint, which we'll get into that stuff later. Yeah, because we're not using the blast furnace. Pretty much all of our coal coke's going to get turned into coke dust, because we're going to use coke dust to make HOP graphite. We're also going to use coke dust to make steel. We're not going to use standard coal coke anymore. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just throw this into the crusher. These 12 blocks. And then over here I have had the crusher threw in a stack of iron clusters. Threw in a stack into there, and we got 2 stacks of iron grit and 12 nickel grit. And then we're getting coke dust. And it actually crushes up pretty fast since we're doing the blocks. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make HOP graphite dust. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this coke dust. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take a stack. And we'll have a little bit extra. I imagine, what exactly do we need to do to make the graphite electrode? 4 through the metal press makes 50%, or if you do the engineer's workbench, 4 makes 100%, which is the route that we're going to take. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and throw that in there. And then we are going to have to plug up power to this. So let's grab our MV wire coil, our MV wire connector, and then power goes right here. So we'll go ahead and just plop that down, and then... Okay, so we've got that plugged up, and then it's going to start crushing this, or squeezing this stuff down into HLP graphite dust. So, and then if we want to process this, we can just smelt it to get HLP graphite ingots. You can also cook it in the arc furnace, but we can't cook in the arc furnace until we get... I'm actually going to need more of that as well. I was thinking I was going to have extra. Nope. We'll do... This should make 5 more, which is how many we're going to need in total. Because it's 4 per electrode. We need 3 electrodes, and then we need 1 to make the blueprint. Which I'm honestly, I'm anticipating this being a little bit more power than what we can do. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to be doing HV power before we can even run this thing. That's fine. I do have that planned. But I want to go ahead and get this arc furnace set up so that it's available to us. Alright, so the blueprint that we need to make is this one right here, just blue dye, this one right here, blue dye and paper. Okay, there's our blueprint for that, the arc furnace electrode, so we'll go ahead and grab that. But kind of what I'm anticipating, the reason I want to get this set up is because I think we might have enough power generation to run it at 1/9 speed, because basically the arc furnace can multi-smelt, or 1/12 speed. So you can fill this thing in, and it's going to increase the amount of power based on how many slots are filled or how many slots are running. And I want to say it's over 6,000 RF, I think, to run all 12 slots. It's a lot. But to run one slot, I think it's only like 500. So I think we should probably maybe have enough or close to it. Okay, so let's put our blueprint into here. I need to put a blueprint stand over here to store all the blueprints in. But then HLP graphite ingots like that, we get our graphite electrodes. It is much more efficient to craft these by hand than automating them. So there's that. And then I want to stick unbreaking on these. Unbreaking 3 ideally. Really, it's not necessary per se because they're cheap. I mean, they are crazy cheap. But the main reason I want to go ahead and put unbreaking on there is so that I don't have to change them out. Or actually, I've got unbreaking books, but I tell you what, I'm going to save those. I'm going to put those in the one that we're going to automate. I'm not going to worry about... We'll do unbreaking ones for automated setups. But really, with this one being manual, what, a stack and a half of coal coke is all it takes, and coal coke's easy at this point. So, no, I'm not going to worry about unbreaking on these. So we'll just shift-click them in there. There we go, graphite electrodes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our iron grit, nickel grit, that stuff that we just got. And of course, left side, you can automate the inputs right up here. This is left side, this is left side, this is right side. This is output for the standard items. This is output slag back here. But we're not going to be doing that with this one. So if you're wanting to make an alloy, so like nickel and iron together, make Invar, you could put the nickel here and the iron here. But we're just going to be just straight up smelting this. So if we drop this in here, you notice it starts taking damage and it starts smelting. Now, right now it seems to be doing alright. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's new. It's a new little feature. It actually like pours out. That's really spiffy. As of right now, it looks to be alright. Let's go check our... it would be the farthest capacitor back. Okay, it is draining the power out of this, but I have a lot of MV capacitors. I have 8 of them in total. So it's something that... It's going to run out that stack of iron. It's going to drain some of the power out of this, but then it's going to build right back up. So, oops. I think it'll be alright. I mean, we can still use it for ore doubling, which is my main concern. It's about, what, 500,000 RF that I'll lose to do 14-ish. Which isn't too bad. I don't mind it, because, I mean, I'm up here so much, I can just kind of, whenever these fill up, throw a stack in there, you know. Because otherwise I'm just sitting here wasting power. Because it's not, I can't use all the power from all those water wheels. This is fine. Once we get the power setups, we should be able to run this at, oh, I should think maybe full efficiency. We'll see. It really depends on how extreme I want to get with the power setup down here. I know the ore processing area, that's going to run full efficiency. It's going to be able to run all 12 of them because it's going to be a big power setup that we're going to be doing. The one down here I'm not 100% sure, because once we have the ore processing set up, this one here is just going to be for like making alloys and stuff like that. Like if I'm down here working, want to make some alloys, I don't have to impact the automated one up there. I can just use this arc furnace. For right now, that's fine. That's going to do what I want it to do. If we take a look here, we have drained out one of those. We're about halfway down on the other one, or the next one. So, I mean, really, I could throw like 2 stacks of metals in here, and it would be all right. If I throw 2 in there, you can see it actually starts kind of draining off of this a little bit, because all I have plugged into this right now is MV, and this is really built for HV. So running 2 in here right now, not ideal, but like I said, we'll be fixing that problem. Anyways, I'll be back here in just a bit. I'm going to get some things together and work on some things, and I'll be back. Okay, it's been a little bit since I cut, and I'm about to cut again, but I have been working out here, cleaning some of this stuff up, and I haven't changed that over just yet. But I did add a floor in, so it's no longer cobble up through there. I've got a lot of smooth crag rock. I went and vein mined it. This pick is kind of damaged right now. I just have to go out and mine some stuff to repair it. And I started working on this area, adding some wrought iron bars and some liquid starlight, which doubles as a light source, of course. And brought this all the way around, kind of cleaning all this stuff up. This still has to get glass on it, but I'm not going to do that until I change that over to steel, because I don't have steel, soul forged steel running through there. And then I worked on this, and I went and got a bunch of sea lanterns, like over a stack. I did try to go the materialization route, and I crafted that stuff up, but it's not working. I think I'm either missing some knowledge or something. And then I also set up candle holders from Better With Mods, and then a candle. These can stack, and they can stack pretty much indefinitely. We'll be using those for a couple other things as well, but they look pretty cool, I think. So just kind of flanking the doors. And then I've also been setting up back here, working on this area, cleaning this up, and adding more tanks. These are going to be for different fluids, which we'll get into that. And I've also prepped up a bunch of steel. It's actually not too bad. This doesn't have any steel in it earlier, but I was running some steel through this. It's actually not too bad because I'm using that blast furnace over there too, just to speed it up. So the arc furnace plus the blast furnace, busting out steel, I think I'm sitting at about 7 or 8 stacks of steel at the moment. And I also did a bit of testing. We are going to be doing a power setup. We'll probably go ahead and start some power setup next episode, but it's not going to be full setup. We're going to have to continue expanding it, but it's going to be very, very expensive. But it's going to be very large scale. And from my testing, the small setup, which will be set up down here, and this is going to be, it's going to be plugged up to the main system, but its primary focus is just going to be running this arc furnace, right? That one will definitely set up next episode. It's not nearly as expensive as the other one. And it'll be set up down here. We'll get into that next episode, and it's going to be producing about, for my testing, we'll probably expand it, and it's probably going to be producing around 4,000 or 5,000 per tick once we finish it on the high end, you know. The other setup that we're going to be doing is going to be producing over 12,000 RF per tick, but it's very, very large scale, very massive, very expensive. And we're not going to have the full setup come next episode, but we're going to have probably enough power that we can run quite a bit. Probably the second arc furnace and whatnot. It's going to be a very powerful system, but very, very expensive. Okay, so anyways, I have been prepping some stuff, and I've been laying out a craft here because I want to craft the advanced crafting table, because I want to start getting into viescraft. Which viescraft is a little bit different than when we covered it in Craft of the Titans. You know, we used viescraft on there, but it is a bit different within this pack. So I've got some black iron slates, I've got some golden rods, and I've also crafted up some luminescence. This stuff, we've talked about it before. I've been, when I was doing I had to craft a second basic crafting table. You can either do it with Stardust or luminescence. I've been doing the luminescence route because it's a little bit cheaper. It comes out to be cheaper. And one thing I wanted to mention, after the 0.7 update of the pack, we can now craft star metal with the collector crystals. You know, like I tried to do before, that was re-enabled, so you can do that. But anyways, I'm actually going to need some more luminescence. But we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some of these advanced components. And this setup, it's identical to the basic one, except for you can't use Stardust. You have to use luminescence, and then you're using gold instead. Right there, right there. So we only need 2 more luminescence. So what we can do, and I actually unbound this. I was using it to make star metal. We can set down our iron. We're going to have a more dedicated place. It's kind of automated so that it has breakers and stuff like that. But if we take our linking tool and we right-click that, you're going to see that a beam comes over, and there we go. It just made the star metal. It's really, really quick when you have the celestial collector. This, by the way, this started working. If you recall, it wasn't doing particles. After the 0.7 update, for whatever reason, I meant to mention that, it did start working again. Or it started working. So, but this star metal, you can put it through the grindstone and make Stardust if you want to do it that way. Of course, we have the collector crystal room, which has lost a lot of its value to some extent, but iron isn't naturally, in the overworld, doesn't naturally spawn, so I don't know. I'm kind of leaving it there for right now. But anyways, let's go ahead and get 2 more luminescence, and let's get ourselves our 2 more of those, and then we need the advanced catalyst, this right here, and we'll just plop that down, and there we go. Advanced crafting table, we'll go ahead and snag that. And we got the extended crafting gold advancement. Okay, so now we're opened up unto viescraft, because this is what we need to actually craft the viescraft stuff. And this stuff is very expensive. I'm going to cut for a bit. I'm going to prep some things. If you take a look at, say, the airship frame, for example, you can see it takes... I'm going to be prepping up a lot of gold plates, green dye powder, redstone alloy plates. The airship frame, we can just craft in a standard crafting table, but like the airship core, you can see that this needs to be done through the advanced crafting table to do that. Same with the airship engine, the airship balloon, and then the... Mainly, I think mainly it's these 3 things, and then once we get into the upgrades, these are all pretty straightforward. Alright, so I'm going to prep up a bunch of logic chips, I'm going to prep up core shards, I'm going to prep up a bit of this stuff. We'll craft these parts on camera, and then we're going to do some upgrading on camera, and we're going to get our very first viescraft airship. And we're going to make it pretty nice for this episode, and then we'll probably add upgrades to it, you know, as we go and everything. Okay, it's been a little bit, and I've been prepping things. A lot of things. This stuff is expensive. Okay, so right in here, I've actually got it laid out for 2 airship engines. These, I mean, they're pretty straightforward to craft. We've done most of this stuff before. Tiny coal engines, super cheap. So let's go ahead and get both of those. And then I also want to go ahead and, I've got it, a crafting table right here. I want to go ahead and make the viescraft table, the airship workbench. And for right now, we're going to put it down right here. Oh, it moves now. It didn't used to move. That's awesome. Looks really, really cool. And so in here, this is where we're going to lay out our airship. And there's 4 different models. Eventually, we're probably going to make all of them. But the one I want right now is the viesigible. Viesigible. I don't know. But anyways, I want the tier 2. Or, I'm sorry, I want the model 2, the version 2. This one has, like, it's like your standard airship, the version 1 is, that has the, you know, like the balloon on top. The Mark II is great for building because the sides are open, the top is open, so you can easily kind of build with it. The version 3 is probably the version 3 and version 4 are probably my favorites visually. So I do want to make those eventually. The version 3 has, like, double turbines on the side of it. It's kind of like the version 2, but it has an extra set of turbines. Or balloons on the side, I guess, really, but, you know, they look like turbines to me. They remind me of turbines. And then the version 4 is kind of like a steampunk style with has the balloon on the top, but it has, like, fins coming out. They're the same as they were in Craft of the Titans, so. But I want this one right here, the version 2. So it's going to require 2 airship engines, which we just crafted. So we'll go ahead and put those right into there. And then it's also going to require 2 of these airship balloons, which are a bunch of hemp cloth string and hemp rope. So we'll go ahead, I've got the stuff right there, and we'll get our 2 airship balloons, put those right in there, and then we are also going to want an airship frame. This thing isn't terribly expensive, in truth, and that table is busy at the moment. I've been crafting out logic chips like it's going out of style. These right here. So minecart, airship frame. This has been a very expensive cut. Like, I've been running stuff constantly. Different things, which we'll get into in a minute. And this goes, I want to say it goes at the bottom. Or no, it goes in the very center. The airship frame does. And then lastly, we need the airship core, which is laid out just like this. And I've actually got, I want to make some more blaze rods. Surprisingly, I'm getting low on blaze powder already. Okay, so what am I missing? Iron plates and the platinum gears, that's right. So there's the platinum gears. And then, oh, in platinum, you cannot double in the arc furnace crusher method anymore. I could have swore that used to be a thing, but at least as of right now, you cannot do that. Oh yeah, and then we need the coal engine, which we made to enter this age. I've got it right here. My inventory is awesome. I'm working on so many projects right now. So there is our airship core. And we'll just put that down right there. And then the last thing I need to actually make the airship itself is just 3 leads. So I'm going to go craft these real quick. And these are not expensive. And then we get into the fun of upgrading, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you we're not going to have everything fully upgraded this episode. It's going to be a work in progress because this stuff is expensive. And actually, while I'm over here, I want to go ahead and make a stack of these Viseline pellets. Or a stack and a half, that's fine too. Because these things are very, very useful. Now, there is an infinite fuel upgrade, and we're going to be going for that. But the thing is, if I ever switch out modules, I mean, the infinite fuel is great for building, but it does make your airship pretty slow by comparison, you know, to its standard speed. You can kind of, basically, it's a little bit different in this than it was in Craft of the Titans because your airship learns the upgrades. And so we might swap out, and so we might need fuel in there, so I want to go ahead and have some. Okay, so there is our version 2 airship. Let's go ahead and snag that. And we got the flight advancement. And then what we can do is we can come out here, we can shift right click to throw this thing down, and look at that. We have ourselves an airship. We can get inside of this, and you can see we have a little GUI there at the top. It tells us our max altitude is only 75. We're not going to be able to go very high with this one. But as we get balloon upgrades, we'll be able to go to a higher altitude. And it tells us our current elevation is 98, so we're actually above max altitude at the moment. And then it also says we have no fuel, and we can kind of like roll around like it's a car. Okay, now if we open up all the stuff for this, it has its own control section. I've went ahead and mapped all my controls of it back, but we can open this up and we can see this is the main menu. It tells you all the details, like we can put fuel in here. We have our upgrade slot, our module, and then we have like airship upgrades that go into this. Then we have an upgrade menu, which has frame, core, engine, balloon upgrades. We're going to get into that in just a second. Appearance upgrades, where we can set the appearance if we can't do anything at the moment because we are baseline airship, not very fancy. And then we have a module section, which we'll get into in just a second. So we'll go over the basics of it today, and then I'm going to continue upgrading it as time goes on. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to upgrade this. And the first upgrade that you're going to have to do, first one that I suggest you do, is the frame upgrade. By the way, for green dye, I've been running yucca flowers, so to get that stuff. But anyways, the first upgrade, the frame, what we're going to need to do, we're going to need to make another airship frame, which luckily these things aren't terribly expensive. Some of these upgrades do start getting really expensive, though. Some of them are quite expensive. There's that. And then we are going to need to get 4 logic chips and 4 core shards. Now, I've actually got some core shards made up here, and to fully upgrade it, it'll take 20 core shards, 20 logic chips. But I don't suggest that you upgrade it all at once. So what we're going to do, we're going to make the tier 1 upgrade. So we'll go ahead and take that. And then what we can do is we can come out here to our airship, and we can hop inside of it, which actually I'm going to move this inside, so we can just break it off like that. And we'll just set it down right here. It's fine. Because we can pick it up and we can move it freely. So if we hop in here, let's open it up, and we go to our upgrade menu, and we take and drop in our frame upgrade. We're going to hit the screen button, and now it is a frame tier 1. And then what we can do, I'm going to go ahead and just fully upgrade this thing. So the frame 2 is crafted like that. It's pretty much the same thing, and you can see it actually, you get to save your tiers. So I mean, really, you know what, really I could, yeah, let me show you what happens if you try to go straight to a tier 3. I am going to need some more logic chips, but I've got this green dye going. And then I've got some more gold plates. I need to get more of those going. This is so expensive, because you go through so many logic chips. Like those core shards and stuff, I mean, it adds up so quick. Yeah, I've got 60 more gold plates in there. These core shards, 2 logic chips apiece, and if you want to fully upgrade your airship, it's going to take 40 of those. So there is, that's a decent amount, 35 logic chips. That's not too bad. Okay, so if we want to craft, say, the tier 3 upgrade, tier 3 frame upgrade, go ahead and snag that. And then if I was to hop into this airship and we opened up the upgrades, and I try to put the tier 3 into there, you'll notice I can't upgrade from a tier 1 to a tier 3. You do have to do these in order, but you do get to keep these, so, you know, we craft them one time, we store them, we don't lose them. We're always going to have them available. And then let's go ahead and get the tier 4, and then lastly the tier 5. We're going to go ahead and go straight for the maximum frame on this. Technically, you don't have to go straight for the maximum frame, but honestly, the frame, compared to some of the other things, the frame is fairly cheap to upgrade. Same with the engine, which those are the two major things we're going to want to upgrade, so kind of lucked out on that. Okay, so frame is now at maximum. That's what it looks like, which we can actually change the appearance. We'll get into that in just a moment. And then I would also like to upgrade, let's see, or not engine upgrade, core. Basically, frame allows airships to get other upgrades. You have to have, if I want tier 5 core, I have to have a tier 5 frame. Core is speed of your airship. Engine is better fuel consumption. And then balloon is max altitude. So at tier 1 it's 100, then 125, 150, 175, and 200. You can actually go higher than that, but you need a module for altitude if you want to go higher than that. So now if we pop into here, we open this up, we can actually click on appearance and we can set the appearance of the frame. So we can do different tiers. And so if we go into tier 1, this is like tier 1 materials that we can make it out of. Not going to go through all of these. Tier 2, once again, tier 2 materials. The higher tier tends to be the cooler they look, you know. Tier 3, the same way. Tier 4, we're starting to get into some kind of nicer looking ones. And then tier 5, we have the really cool looking ones, which I'm going to go, I think, with, I don't know, I really like the Nether Star one, but I also like the Ender one as well. So I think we'll go with the Ender look. And then we can, let's go back, we can do the frame color, which I actually feel like that's not working. I don't know. But anyways, and then we can also set it to transparent, so it's almost ghostly looking. And it creates that like ghosting effect. I actually quite like that, right? Okay, so now that that's in place, let's go ahead and... Let's see, I'm going to have to upgrade balloon if I want to actually be able to fly at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at the balloon upgrade. Now this thing is pretty expensive. You'll notice it does need another airship balloon for the tier 1. Once we get past that, it's a little bit cheaper. Balloon remnants. This is a lot of leather and logic chips. Then we also need more logic chips. This thing, the balloon is probably the most expensive. I don't know. The balloon, and then also there's the engine upgrade, which takes blaze rods. And a lot of logic chips. These two are the most expensive. The core and the frame, not terribly expensive. Honestly, I might... I don't know. I don't know. Let me grab this thing. But I feel like we're not going to have a whole lot of use if we don't upgrade it first. So let me cut here for just a little bit. I'm going to get some more hemp built up. And we can do a few balloon upgrades. One thing we can do is we've got a lot of books. And one thing we should do, the uncrafting table from Twilight Forest. We can go ahead and make this. Blast bricks. So let me craft up one of these real quick as well. Okay, bad news. The uncrafting table does not work. Doesn't do anything. So that's no good. That was my original plan, to get a lot of leather. I do have 36 leather right here, but... we do have an easier way to get leather. We're going to be doing that, and also wool through Astral Sorcery, but not yet. Soon, but not yet. Also, I know it's about wrapping up point. We are just about done. So I'm just going to craft as much as I can of the upgrades, because I do have a little bit of leather built up. So let's pull back up viescraft, and let's take a look at the balloon upgrade. So the balloon remnants, this right here. So I'm going to need gold and iron. So let me grab a little bit of gold. And I've also got a bunch of gold plates going, because we need so many of those things. Balloon remnants, we'll go ahead and get 4. Yeah, we'll start with 4. And then the balloon upgrade. There's that. And I have enough leather to do another one. So we'll go ahead and put this into the balloon upgrade. There we go. So now the max altitude is 100. So technically I can get up to where I'm at right now. I'd like to go for 125 this episode, which should get me to about the top of the castle. And then I can add upgrades to it as time goes on. So I've got a bunch of gold plates going. Like, look at that. I'm just destroying gold right now. Like, I don't know what I would do without the sword doubling. I'm glad I got this first. Before we got into this, because this stuff is expensive. It's so expensive. So, balloon remnants, let's go ahead and get... Oh, it's 5 leather apiece. I actually think I have more leather, though. Let me go grab it. I need 4 more pieces. Okay, so we got our balloon remnants and our balloon tier upgrade number 2. I'll work my way up to it. I might wait... I don't know. If I need to upgrade the balloon, I mean, I can make... That's, what, 20 leather per upgrade? That's pretty expensive. But I can pull it off, so we'll see. But like I said, there is a lot easier way to make leather, and we're going to get into that pretty soon. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to do, I'm not as worried about the burn less fuel right this second. That can wait. But I want to get the core upgrade. So this right here, we are going to need a coal engine, but we can make this with a different recipe using a nether furnace, which really isn't too bad for us at this point. And then while I'm over here, I made up a bunch more. I made 2 stacks of those redstone plates, and we were just about through the first stack of them. There's another 58. Yeah, see, you can still pull apart nether bricks and get nether bricks. You notice it does say it takes 4 XP levels, but... So that is still possible. We just can't use it for the books. So, alright, so back to the core upgrade. The nether furnace. And then our coal engine. There we go. I'm going to need to make more core shards here pretty quick. Yeah, because I got 2. But the speed is going to be very important for us. Yeah, there's 8. That'll cover the first 2 tiers. So, core upgrade, because this thing is going to be super slow. Especially for running infinite fuel on it. It's going to be really, really slow. So I'd like to go ahead and get this so we have a little bit higher base speed. Upgrade... And we'll drop that in there, and drop that in there. Now, really, I could probably pull off... Yeah, I could probably pull off a bit higher than that, though. Okay, I had to get some more yucca flowers going, but not that upgrade. I want this one. There is our tier 3 core upgrade. We're almost to the point we don't have to make any more core shards, which is going to be nice. But, of course, the balloon upgrades aren't cheap, but we did get to a tier 2, so I'm pretty happy with our progress. Honestly, I'll be able to knock out the core pretty easily. It's not terribly expensive, and once that stuff's done, I've got enough redstone alloy plates. I should have enough gold plates. I should be able to knock that out. But anyways, while that stuff's running, let's go ahead and take a look at modules. Okay, because right now I have this really nice airship. I can throw fuel into this, like I said. Let's actually pop outside. Whoop. It works with Carrion, apparently. Let's go ahead and grab this thing. It does save all the information in it. But if we pop out here, right to here, shift right click, throw that down, and we'll pop in here, and let's throw in our fuel. Okay? So, you can see I've only got 15 minutes because my, I don't have the fuel efficiency in there. But this thing, I mean, it moves at a decent speed, right? We can kind of like putt around and everything. But it's going to eat through fuel really bad. I'm going to try not to use any of this fuel until I get fuel efficiency in it. So let me go ahead and just pull this out. Because otherwise it's going to burn through fuel like at a crazy rate. So what I would like to do, there is modules here for infinite fuel. There's a lesser, infinite, and greater. And what it does, lesser is a 90% speed decrease. That's pretty bad. Infinite is 80, and then greater infinite is 70%. So we're going to go ahead and go for greater infinite fuel. Lesser infinite, module chips, logic chips with platinum plates around them. Not terribly cheap. Altogether, let's see, we are going to need to get 2, 4, 6. So what, 48, 51 platinum plates. I've got 48. Let me go grab 3 more platinum. I did have some going over here. Technically you can still double this if you use the quartz grindstone, but I haven't made one of those, and it's fine, it's whatever. It's not, if you use the quartz grindstone, I want to say it's a 90% chance to double. It's not 100%, but But we're going to go ahead and get these plates going for this thing. Oh, I've actually got some platinum plates right here. So I guess technically I could cut off 15. And then also I'm going to need to make, for this, I'm going to need logic chips for each of these. And then we're going to surround these with platinum plates. There's our first 3 module chips. These things are kind of expensive. With platinum being semi-rarish, I've started finding quite a bit. When I moved away, once I moved away from like the early gen areas, I've been finding more platinum that's not duds. So, it hasn't been too bad. I think I mined up like 2 or 3 nodes between episodes. But anyways, for the first tier, 2 nether quartz gas tier. For the tier 2, we are going to need 2 more nether quartz, another weighted pressure plate, and then also 3 diamonds. So I've got 11 left. That's not too bad. And then for the greater infinite, 3 more platinum plates, 2 more nether quartz, and another weighted heavy pressure plate. And 1 blaze rod. Okay, here we go. So, lesser infinite fuel, standard infinite fuel, and then greater infinite fuel. Okay, so that is done. That's crafted. Which basically that means it's not going to require any fuel to fly. It is going to be a little bit slower, but that's why we're upgrading the core. So let's go ahead. I've got the stuff. We can upgrade the core again. Alright, I've got the arc furnace going. There's our first 4 core shards and the core upgrade tier 4. Bomb. And then our next 4 core shards and our tier 5 core upgrade. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Okay. So core and frame are both 100% done at this point. And let's go ahead and throw this thing down. And then we get to actually take it out for a spin because we're going to have everything we want for it. Alright, so upgrade. Let's upgrade the core. And then the tier 5 core. Okay. And then also module, we're going to go ahead and put in infinite fuel. And yeah, all modules must be upgraded in sequence like the main tiers. Bah. Okay, that's why it's not working. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves some module chips. And let's go ahead and craft the first... Oh yeah, I need this. The first lesser infinite fuel upgrade. There we go. And then if we hop into here, let's open this up. Module, we can add the lesser fuel and learn it. And it's going to save it right to here. We can select it. And now you'll notice the GUI changes and it's running. Now, if you notice this thing, this speed is horrible. 90% speed reduction is bad. So what we're going to do is we are going to craft the next tier upgrade. Now the bad thing about this is you don't get it back. We don't get to tier them up easily like we did with these. Which I need to put that into there. Not quite as easy. So we are going to have to tier these up step by step. So the next one, the tier 2, or I'm sorry, we have to make another tier 1, which I need another gas tier. Go grab that. This thing will be worth it for like building the exterior of the castle though, because we're going to have a decent speed, infinite fuel, and you know, it actually stays in place instead of bouncing. Like trying, you know, there's no way I could build with the mantle. There's no way at all. So another tier 1 and then another tier 2. So it ended up costing us 6 diamonds. It's regrettable, but it can't be helped, so it's whatever. Like this episode, I don't know if you realize like how expensive this episode actually has been. It's been terribly expensive altogether between the immersive engineering and the viescraft. So there's the tier 2, and then lastly, the tier 3. We now have greater infinite fuel. And before we use that, let's go ahead and break this thing off. And let's take it outside. We have a pretty good airship right now. I mean, it's not fully upgraded, and we've only got 1 module in this thing, but it's a pretty good airship, in truth. Let's go ahead and throw that thing down. And here we go. Oops. Wrong way. You'll notice it's not incredibly fast. 70% speed reduction hurts. I'm not going to be traveling with this thing, but I can actually build the exterior of the castle with this. And, you know, it's actually like a good form of flight for building. So, you'll notice I'm just about at max So I can land on this little platform here. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. And honestly, I can work on some more balloon upgrades. I mean, all I have left to upgrade as far as the airship itself is just balloon and engine at this point. So, and balloon will definitely be my priority. Progress was made today, much progress, but I know it's about wrapping up point, so I'm not going to carry on any longer because it's definitely wrapping up point. So I do apologize, the episode ran over, but it couldn't really be helped. Had to get this stuff knocked out. Next episode, we will be possibly doing immersive engineering because there's some power setups that I mentioned. I want to start working into those, but I also want to start blood magic. So depending on if I get everything prepped, which it's looking like I should have everything prepped for power by next episode. So we may start doing some power setups. I've got, like I said, I've got 2 different ones planned that we're going to be setting up, so that'll be good. And one thing I wanted to mention before I end out the episode, just really quick, if you have multi-jump on your boots, and I actually noticed this first in my test world, because I've got the multi-jump on the boots there, but if you hit spacebar, there we go, if you hit X to go down, and then hit spacebar, you'll actually bring your, or whatever your, oops, I don't need to go any higher, it'll start smoking, and then like it'll destroy your airship. But yeah, if you hit X and then spacebar, you can jump with it and use the multi-jump from your boots. For whatever reason, or not hit X. I have X set to descend, but if you have it set something else, hit your descent button and then hit space and you'll jump up altitude. It's a way to raise your altitude really, really quick. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you got any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.